everyone, I'm Vickie with Avante Avenue. I have a different kind of candid chat for you today. It's not my typical sit down, have a talk with you. Instead, I'm going to do a show and tell, meaning I am going to show you today an array of tools that I use for reselling, for shipping, for my office supplies. I decided to take some time and put together a whole table of things to show you, to make sure that maybe it's some things that you haven't thought about. Maybe you're not prepared yet for all the sales that are going to roll in here for the holiday. Either way, I've got some things that I use on a regular basis that help me, and I thought I'd share them with you. And like with everything, some of them might work, some may not, but hey, that's what I'm going to do today. So one of the first things is, do you have a clothing rack here? This clothing rack, if you sell clothing, if you don't, oh well. If you do, a clothing rack is a great way to stage your clothing, to get them ready to photograph, and then I pack them and store them away. So, and you see my blind in the background here where I do my photography. So, but with that said, I have a whole table of things for you. I have a glass top table that I work off of. It's a square table. I covered it with a black tablecloth to make it easier to show you everything. I have a lot of things to show you. I have a lot of tools that I use to make my job easier. So with that said, let's get started. As you can see here, I have a lot of things put out on my table. And the first thing I want to go over would be my scissors. You need several types of scissors for reselling. I have the Dollar Tree kitchen shears, which are great for cardboard and things that you don't care about ruining your scissors. Okay, so I have those. I have my regular good scissors that I use for a variety of things, mostly cutting paper. And then these are my favorite scissors. These are little embroidery scissors, and I would not be without these. Let me show you here. I would not be without these little scissors. These are what I use for cutting those fine threads on clothing, those places where you just need something that gets up real close. I highly recommend you pick up a pair of embroidery scissors. Joann Fabrics, craft store, Walmart, etc. I also keep color-coded pens available. And I do this for a reason. I have a calendar that I keep my sales logged in, and I color code my sales. Blue being eBay, Macari I put as green, and Poshmark I just chose purple. So I keep a variety of colored pens. And if you've ever had a flaw in a piece of clothing or something that you needed to point out, a flaw in anything, these little stickers, you can, these are those little peel and stick. You can use these as a little arrow to point into the direction of the flaw or whatever it is that you hope to point out. Of course, tape. Have to have my tape dispenser. I know this background's a little busy. I realize that now. Have to have a tape dispenser. And not only that, make sure this time of year, especially anytime, that you have some backup tape. Doesn't matter what brand. Of course, a nice stapler. Gotta have that. These are basics, I realize that. But I just wanted to show them to you. Here's a couple things. Magnifier glass. I have two magnifiers. I don't know what power this one is, but I know I've used it quite a few times. But I have a second magnifier as well. I picked this up recently, and this is a magnifier that has a light on the bottom. I picked it up in the Walmart sporting goods department. And it's been very handy when I'm trying to read labels, manufacturer labels or small print. That little light has helped. This is my camera. It's a Kodak. I've had it for a long time. Now you might do your photography with your phone, your iPhone or your cell phone, but I use a camera. And because I use a camera, I make sure I have a backup battery that's always charged up. I use this little band to keep my battery in there. And make sure you have plenty of discs so that you don't run out, that, if you fill it up and you need to change it quickly, make sure you have these on hand. My favorite one is at least a 32 gig. So make sure you're prepared when you're doing your photography. Okay, for measuring, you might want to have a simple ruler. And you probably want to have a tape measure, maybe a hard tape measure, a metal tape measure. And I actually use two measuring tapes. I have this one that I have cut down. No, that's the long one. This one is actually a 60-inch measuring tape. And then I have another measuring tape, so I recommend you get two. And I cut this one down to 36 inches. The reason I did that is because when I'm measuring most of my clothing, tops, well, most of them, tops, jackets, sweaters, whatever, I only need about 36 inches, and I rarely need that much. So it's easier to manage if I have a smaller tape, and then I keep the longer 60-inch tape for dresses and long coats. So recommend that you, these are a plastic. I've dropped this on the floor. I've stepped on it. It's laminated. I encourage you to get one that's a decent brand, and make sure it's laminated, because they'll get a lot of abuse. So 60-inch and a 36-inch that I cut down from 60. Recommend you have two. We talked about our office supplies. This is a wrist pad, and it has memory foam in it. And I work on my laptop, and I cannot do without this. I was having so much trouble with my wrists bothering me. So for about $10–12 at an office supply store, or you can pick it up on the internet, but I wanted to see them in person. This is wonderful. It's memory foam. It's soft. It feels so good on the wrists, because we're doing a lot of typing, and it's wider than my laptop, but I'm okay with that because it does what I needed it to do. It cushions my wrists. This is something that I'm having a lot of fun with, if I can call a lint roller fun. Check this out. This is a pet hair removal lint roller. It is extra wide. It is actually 9 inches wide. I don't know if you can see that. 9 inches wide. It's 30 feet by 9 inches. And I use this on my clothing. It's great. And I have a small one. I have a small lint roller, and I advise to have those on hand too. And some fabrics are so, you want to be so gentle on them that you need a lightweight lint roller. But I also love this super sticky lint roller for large pieces to roll down, large pieces of clothing. Love it. And now I wouldn't use it on velvet. I wouldn't use it on very delicate fabrics, but I've used it on all other types of material, and it's been great. So once you open it, it doesn't have a good cover on it. So I took some parchment paper, kitchen parchment paper, and I just store mine with parchment paper. It keeps it clean and it doesn't stick. So if you're going to pick those up, I got mine at Big Lots. You can see I got it, I'm sorry, I got this one at Ollie's for $4.99. I pick up a couple at a time. So check those out. And you may have seen in some of my shipping videos where I do a little thank you label. I do this little thank you, enjoy, shop again soon, Avante Avenue. These are just 30 up labels, just regular white address labels. Sometimes you can pick these up at the thrift store or a garage sale. They cost a lot if you buy them in the office supply store, so try to get them from somebody getting rid of them. But I run 30 up, and I put these on my packages. And this, I really like this. And I still do a packing slip for eBay, but Mercari and Poshmark and even eBay, I do like to put these on the package. It's just that with eBay, I add the additional packing slip. Okay, what else do we have here? You will be seeing this in this cutting board in my videos on clothing that I'm working on. I haven't put them out yet. I use this little cutting board, and it is 8.5 by 11. I use this to help me fold my clothing, to help fold shirts. So watch for this little cutting board in future videos. Pick this up at Walmart. I think I paid 99 cents for it. You have to have a scale. I've had this one for a long time, so all I can tell you is that it's worked great for me. It takes a battery, so make sure you have a scale. This one weighs up to 5 pounds. And of course, some packing tape. This here is a Scotch brand. I do like this brand. I am not a fan of some other brands out there. This is a Scotch shipping and packaging tape, and it's heavy. It's considered heavy duty. So I keep plenty of this tape on hand. And here's a little tip for you. You know how it's easy to lose the end of the tape? I just take a large paper clip and put it on the end of my tape when I'm not using it. And I like to use a brightly colored one. And that's how I prevent my tape from getting stuck on itself and losing it. So a large paper clip. If you sell on Mercari, you probably know that they do not have their labels set up to print, this is a shipping label, they do not have their label set up to print horizontal. Poshmark's label prints vertical. So it's kind of frustrating to me because I don't have a label printer. I just put sheets through my printer. So make sure you have some glue on hand to put on the back of the Poshmark labels. I like the one that is purple that turns clear because I can tell where I left off. But yeah, I put tape over it too though. I put packing tape over it as well. You might want to have some priority mail labels on hand when you're using plain packages. Here's something that I recently started using. These are from Walmart. You can buy, I don't know if you can find something similar, go for it. It's 100 bags in this box. And these are size 10 by 14. And they're twist tie, but these are great for packaging shoes or anything really. They're a nice clear bag, fairly inexpensive. I think it was $3 and something. And I really like these bags for putting my shoes in them. So I have these on hand. I've used them for other things too. They're considered, they have a picture of bagels on the front, so they're kind of considered a bread bag. But anyway, I recommend those. For cleaning supplies, let me reach over here and get a few things here. I keep some moist wipes on hand in case I missed a little spot and I need to spot clean something. I have just some dollar store ready wipes, which are great for cleaning shoes. These are alcohol free. My favorite go-to for clothing is Shout. Shout triple acting for getting stains out. This has worked really well for me. All right, I'm going to move the camera angle because I want to show you some bags. I want to show you what type of bags I use to pack and ship my clothing. There's two bags. I use two bags every time. I have a clear bag for the clothing itself, and then of course I have my poly mailer or USPS mailer. And I love these bags. I love these clear bags that I use to package my clothing. In fact, I told a friend of mine, very close friend of mine who sells on eBay, about these bags because she was using those soft clothing bags that kind of collapse on themselves and make the clothing, if you're putting it in boxes or tubs, the clothing would just kind of go like this. I said, you've got to use these bags. They are so worth it. And I'll tell you where I bought them from in just a second here. But she actually messaged me and said, is it possible to love a bag? And I said, yes, it is. It really is possible to love a bag. I get really good feedback on my clothing sales. I feel that I take a couple of extra steps. You know, I put that little thank you note on it. And I really think that that first impression when they open up that package and find that you took the time to put the clothing in an inner bag, which I know a lot of you do, but when you see this bag and how they work and how nice they look, I think you'll understand. So let me turn the camera again and show you the bag, the type of bag, the brand of bag that's possible to love. So here are the bags. What makes them so special? First of all, they're clear. I bet if I had this perfectly centered, you wouldn't even know that there was a bag in front of my camera lens. These are clear bags, literally, you know, I'd like to say crystal clear, but they're the company sell, but you have to be careful because some people call them crystal clear and they're not really. But these are clear bags. They are resealable bags. They have a peel. You can peel it here, fold it wherever you need it to fit the clothing. And when I've had to open it back up, I've been able to do that. Let me get a piece of clothing here. I have this blouse in a clear bag. You can see how brightly the color looks, even with a bag over it. I have my thank you label. And I've opened this one a few times. I have a little note in here to, because of the way I packaged it, to tell me what brand and size it is. But these are resealable. They have as long as you're careful, you don't want to be rough on them. But these are resealable bags. On top of that, I decided to go ahead and get bags that have a suffocation warning. I went ahead and decided to get the suffocation warning because I have to tell you the truth, I'm surprised this has not been mandatory. I know Amazon, you know, you put warnings on packages. eBay has not enforced that. I'm very surprised. So I went ahead and chose from the beginning to put a warning, or get the bags with a warning suffocation label. And I have a variety of sizes here. This is my own marking on the bag, 9 by 11.5. I don't have the middle size marked right now. I have 11 by 15.5, but I always have 3 sizes on hand. I get these bags from You Pack and Ship. Now you can order these off of eBay through You Pack and Ship. On eBay, you can search clear, self-seal, and tape plastic merchandise bags with suffocation warning. Now, these are from You Pack and Ship. You can also compare the pricing on eBay to You Pack and Ship and decide. I have ordered them from both places depending on where I got the best deal. But I just highly recommend these bags. They are just wonderful. I use them all the time. It's the only kind I will buy. Do not be fooled if you're not buying it from You Pack and Ship. And I'm not getting paid for this, by the way. But if you do not get it directly from You Pack and Ship, you may very well be disappointed in the bag. I've ordered other bags that say they are clear, even crystal clear, and they're not. And again, I'm getting nothing for this. I just wanted you to get them. Make sure you get, if I'm going to tell you I love these bags, I want you to get the right bags and love them too. All right, so it's that time of year. Are you ready? Do you have all sizes of mailing envelopes? I keep a variety of sizes on hand. Are you stocked up on any of your free, if you have a store, free eBay supplies? Do you have your eBay supplies available? If not, you better get them soon. Kind of getting late here. Of course, you have to pay shipping on it. So, and then the post office, I heard about a month ago that they were going to cut off being able to buy to order large quantities of their packing supplies, their mailing envelopes. If you have not stocked up on your USPS shipping supplies, better get them soon. I ordered mine about 6 weeks ago. And then, of course, poly mailers. You can also get these You Pack and Ship or wherever you like. You probably already have a source for that. And love these. These are mailers. They're 11 5/8 by 15 1/8, free from the post office. Love these, especially for Poshmark, because Poshmark, you know, it's priority mail only on Poshmark up to 5 pounds. And I tell you, sweaters and jackets, it doesn't matter, even if it's a blouse or a men's shirt. I use these priority mail envelopes. You can see they're just thin. They hold a lot. They really do. When I go to the post office, I just ask if they'll give me a dozen or a couple dozen and keep them on hand. So make sure you, that way, you can see here, this is my poly mailer. Why use your own poly mailer if you're sending priority when you can get these large envelopes? All right, so what else do I have for you? Do you have, let me move my light. Do you have labels? This is just a shoebox with a shoebox in it. And I store in here priority labels, fragile labels, another style of fragile label, I have do not bend labels and a variety of some extra tape and some Dymo labels. And I realize there's no guarantee that the person handling the package along the way will pay attention to the fragile or the do not bend. But I will tell you that your buyer will appreciate that you went to the trouble, that you went to that extra step, I should say, to try to make sure that their package arrives safely. So this thing about not putting fragile on there because you're afraid that they'll intentionally try to break it, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that's anybody's intention to break your goods before they get to the buyer. But at least let your buyer know that you tried. And I ordered all these off of eBay, and I keep them, like I said, in this little shoebox. So make sure you have some labels on hand. Okay, I want to talk about boxes. So let me move the camera angle again and talk about boxes. I'm using my office chair right now to hold my boxes. Of course, make sure you have plenty of bubble wrap on hand, from large bubble to small bubble. And believe it or not, I don't recommend Walmart for your bubble wrap because I don't think it's the best quality. You want to make sure that you have good air in your bubbles. And Sam's Club has been pretty good for this. And, you know, just check around. But be careful of where you buy your bubble. Make sure it actually has air in the pockets. Boxes. I keep a variety of boxes on hand. Now, I know I've talked a lot about the ECT rating on boxes. This box does not have it. Okay, this is a 5 by 4 by 2. So yes, normally I talk about the rating on a box. This is a little 5 by 4 by 2. But these little boxes have been very good for Christmas ornaments in particular that are resin, that are not as fragile as a glass ornament, and, you know, or even pieces of jewelry. This has been a nice little box for pieces of jewelry. So that's a 5 by 4 by 2. And then this one here, I don't even have a measurement on it, but I believe it's a 4 by or 5 by 4. It doesn't have a rating either, but it works for some small lightweight items. And then I'm going to get into some of the rated boxes. Now, I do shop boxes and get the best deal that I can. But I've been happy with this company called Pratt. Pratt 100% recycled boxes. And they have their own website. You could go out to Google and shop Pratt. Or you can also find them on eBay. So this is a 6 by 6 by 6. This has been very handy for me over the years. This box, I don't know. I don't have a specific brand. It's 7 by 5 by 5. Again, these are boxes that have been very handy to have. This is an 8 by 6 by 5. And then I have, I guess I'm out of my 8 by 8 by 8. This is a 9 by 9 by 9. So I need to order some more boxes. And they don't always have to be square. It's good to have some rectangular shaped boxes on hand. But, you know, the point is whether you can get them free from a local store, that's always great. But I really like boxes without a lot of lettering. I stay away from a lot of food boxes. I stay away from boxes that have scents. I almost got some boxes today in Aldi. I was all excited till I looked and it said it was some kind of air freshener. I'm like, oh, I can't use that. So try to get clean boxes that do not have a lot of lettering on them. Okay, if you are like me, you sit a lot. Now you need a comfortable chair. Let me show you here. Turn this down a little more and show you my office chair. All right, there's my office chair. It's old, okay? Nothing fancy, just a swivel chair. But you know what? I sit a lot. Don't be afraid to use one of these cushions. This is, you know, normally when people have had back surgery or have tailbone issues, you know, it's all cracked and old on the other side. It's not very pretty. I turned it up and put the fabric side up. But don't be, how do I want to say this? Don't be too proud. Don't be too proud to use a donut cushion, or actually I don't think the donut ones are very good for you, but a square cushion of some kind. I'd stay away from the donut ones for your office chair. I'm telling you, I'm ready for 2 of these now. I feel like I sit so much I need 2 of them. I see I missed something on my table. This is a shaver for clothing when it has the little pilling on it. These are fairly inexpensive to pick up. They're great for sweaters when you have those little pilly nubbies to clean up. And my absolute favorite, besides my bags over here, my absolute favorite thing is this. Check this out. This is a travel drive to take photos from your phone, photos or files from your phone. See this here? This goes in my phone. It works for iPhone, iPad. So if you don't have an iPhone, I don't know if it's going to help you or not, but this goes into my iPhone, and this is a USB for my laptop or for your computer. I just discovered these about, I don't know, 2 months ago. This is the 32 gig. I would not get anything smaller than 32 gig. And I can tell you that this has been one of the absolute best discoveries ever. Let me try to show you here. And the reason is I use it mostly for my videos, but I can take anything from my phone, put it on to this, and transfer it to my laptop. And when you use these, you can actually, I have 3 of them now. I bought my 3rd one today. Plug it into your phone, download, okay, you do download the app. You're prompted to download the app. And when you are working with this, you can take photos from your phone to the travel drive, or flash drive as they call it, or from the flash drive to your phone. And on top of that, you can set up file folders in here. So let's say you're using your phone for your photography and you want to transfer your phones to your laptop so you can share your listing on Mercari and Poshmark. Well, instead of using the cloud or another system, put your photos on here. You can organize them. If you like these kind of videos, I appreciate a thumbs up. I invite you to like, subscribe, and ring that little bell to receive notifications on future videos. I enjoy bringing you videos. I'm still fairly new at it, about 2 months in. And I invite you to leave a comment below. Let me know if you're enjoying my videos and if you're learning something from it. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Vickie with Avante Avenue.